So we'll start today in seated, please, just in a seated position, on a cushion or on the ground, on a chair, wherever you can sit up straight and comfortable. And just settle in. Just loop the shoulders a few times and then let them fall away. Relax arms, so just hands on knees or in your lap, whatever feels best. Just a few breaths to get ourselves settled in, kind of arrive in this space and bring your awareness internal. So you can notice the senses around you, little sounds in the background. Just taking in your surroundings, but then start to reduce awareness to this space right here. Just beginning to sense your breath in your body. Let your breath start to slow, moving with ease in your body. Noticing the sound of your breath, the pace and rhythm, feeling the movement. And then floating your eyes open, we'll sweep arms open wide and reach them all the way overhead. When you get to the top, bring hands together, interlace fingers and push your palms up to the ceiling. So really stretch up tall, lengthen up through the torso, and then scoop your belly in and press your palms forward towards me. So let your shoulders round out. You might get a bit of a stretch across the upper back and shoulders. And we'll move over towards one side, so just stretching more into one side of the body. And then over to the other side. Come up a little bit higher now. And to the other side. And then we'll come all the way up, so there's a feeling of aligning from the hips to the ribs to the shoulders, and then we'll stretch across from here. Keep deepening the pose with your out breath. And come over to the other side. And then make your way over onto hands and knees. So from here we'll move through a cat-cow sequence, just nice and simple. Drawing the belly in and arching through your spine. So really scoop belly in up towards the spine. Try not to drop the head, so thinking about the length of your neck as well. And then we'll draw the belly down, stretch up through the front of the body, eye gaze ahead of you, and drawing shoulders gently away from your ears. Rounding out. And lengthening through. You can close your eyes if you want to, for that internal experience. Synchronizing with your breath. You might feel best to breathe in as you lengthen the front line of the body, and to breathe out as we pull the belly in. If it's the reverse, that's absolutely fine too. Just go with what feels natural to your body. just do one more cow pose and then reset into a neutral position. So here we are aligning from the pelvis to the ribs, to the shoulders, out to the crown of the head, visualizing that one long line. And then we'll send the right leg out long without moving the hips, so make sure you're not rotating open. We want both hip points nice and level. Pulling the knee in, lift your thigh up towards the body, so allow your spine to round a little here, and then send the leg out long. So here we'll maintain that nice line through the spine, and then bring it in. Breathing in to extend, and breathing out to come in. Try and tuck your thigh right up close to your body. This time we'll just come out and hold, and see if you can float your other arm out long. So you might have your bicep by your ear, but if it's a real effort to get there, make sure you're not swaying in your back to compensate. So keep pulling in through the belly, focusing on that nice long line, and reaching fingers away from toes. Just hold for another breath, and then plant your hand down, bring toes to the floor, and we'll just rock back and forth a few times. So push back towards the heel, and then this bent knee, we're going to spin the foot out, land the back heel, and open your arm high up towards the ceiling. So we keep pushing the hips forward, drawing the belly in. So we're making one long line with the body. Hold for another breath. And touch down. Reset onto hands and knees. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So left leg shoots out long, just at about hip height. Make sure we're not dumping in the middle. So pulling belly button up towards spine. Knee comes in towards your chest. Little lift, send it out long, and bring it in. One more round, extend, slowly in. This time we'll come out and hold, stay right here, and then float, sorry, and then float the other arm out long, frog in the throat. So maintaining this strong, stable position where the hips are level. So there's a little squeeze in the glute. See if you can pull your arm up by your ear without moving your torso. Let's stay just for another long breath here. And then touch down, bring toes to the floor. Just rock back to the foot a few times. And then we'll open to the side. So spin the foot out, just for balance. Land that back heel, bring the hips forward so we're stacking each hip vertically. Maybe look up if you can keep your balance. Try and push the ground away from you. Hold strong for another breath. And finally come back down. From hands and knees, tuck your toes under. Hover knees off the ground, and then send your hips up really high into our down dog. So in our down dog, we're focusing on maintaining this lovely long line. Hips, ribs, shoulders, crown of the head. So if you can't get your heels all the way down, let's just bend the knees a little and send the hips up high. So I want you to focus more on the alignment of your torso. Sometimes if we're focusing so hard on getting the heels to the ground that we lose all the integrity in the middle and we end up rounding out through the spine. So the focus is to send the tailbone up. Maybe you can get your arms beside your ears. Try and widen across your shoulders. Okay, so we're not hunching them up by your ears. And then start to push your weight a bit further back towards the legs, and that's where you'll start to get that stretch around the hamstrings. Coming forward from here into our high plank position. Press firmly into every finger. Still focusing on that nice alignment through the torso, and then push up and back. So pushing right back into the legs, coming forward again. Keep coming all the way forward, focusing on broadening across the chest. Lift up and back. We'll do this one more time and hold it. So forward to our plank, stay right here. Drop the right knee down, spin your foot out, land the heel. So we want the heel on the ground to help rotate the pelvis so that it's level. Reach your arm up, look up if you want to. A little bit of a squeeze in the glutes. One more breath and touch down. Pushing up and back. Coming forward. Drop the left knee, spin open, land the heel, and reach up high. So bring the hips forward if you find that they're kind of dropping back. Let's squeeze the glutes and create that beautiful long line. Coming down with your next out breath. Pushing up and back. We'll do this just how many more times? A couple more times. So forward, land the knee, spin the foot out. This time as we open, you've got the option of floating the leg off the ground. Touch down, push back, and to the other side, power forward. So make sure your shoulder stays over your wrist the whole time. Option to lift the leg. Touch down, come back, and we've got this one more time on each side. Now this time, you've got the option of staying on your toes, and then we'll spin on the feet. Either keep the feet on the ground or float it off if you're feeling really energetic this morning. Come on down, push back, and to the other side. So either drop the knee or stay on your feet. Keep the feet touching the ground or float that top leg off, your choice. Touch down, come back, then drop your knees to the floor and sit back into child. Let's relieve the wrists with some circles. Wriggle the fingers, open and close your hands. Let your head rest to the ground. And bring your attention to your breath again. Let's pass through down dog. So coming up, tuck toes under, push back, and then walk your feet all the way up to your hands, coming into our forward fold. So feet can be together or under hips or around shoulder width apart. Just let your body drape down. If you don't want to hang all the way down, you can bring forearms up to your thighs. That's always an option if you start to feel a bit dizzy. Just like in our down dog, let's focus on tipping the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Okay, so we're not hunching through the spine. We want to try and keep the torso as long as we can. So start to lift the hips up until you can feel that stretch up through the hamstrings. Let your head hang loose. And we'll just float hands around to one side and around to the other side. Just keep moving back and forth. You might be stretching one leg and bending the other. And then settle back through center. Bring hands up to your shins and lift halfway up. So let's find that nice alignment again. Then bend your knees deeply. So bring the hips as low as you can, lift your chest and sweep arms up. Just like before, we're making sure that we're not making a banana shape with the back. Okay, just in order to get the arms a bit higher, we want to be pulling in through the belly and just lifting your arms to wherever your overhead range allows. Now coming all the way up, drop arms at your sides and just loosen them up. Okay, take a breath, reach arms up really high, bring hands together, interlace, push your palms up to the ceiling, and then pull the belly in and press your palms towards me. Okay, so we're allowing the upper back to just round a little, stretching and opening across the shoulder blades. Moving over to one side. If you need a bit more balance, you can step your feet a little bit wider. And around to the other side. Coming up a little bit higher. Breathe into the pose. And over to the other side. And this time we will align everything. So draw the shoulders back. Keep pulling in through the belly, so lengthening down through the tailbone, and move into a side stretch. So make sure you're not swaying through your back. We want to be nice and long and aligned, and then come across from there. Over to the other side. Breathe into it. Exhale as you come over. Straightening up, just drop arms at your sides, loosen up through your shoulders. Okay, breath in to lift, and dive all the way down into your forward fold again. We'll send the right foot back, land the heel, and keep the back leg straight. So we're not collapsing that back knee. We want to make sure that that heel is on the ground and the leg is strong. Then sweeping arms up, push down into the front heel and then rock back into that back foot, so keep it really powerful here. Now pull your elbows down and just a little bit back from the shoulders. Feel like your shoulder blades are squeezing together down your back. Sweep arms all the way down, lean your body forward and bring fingertips to the floor. Lift the back heel and step into your forward fold. Let's come halfway up. So try and pitch your weight forward here, straightening the legs as much as you can. Sitting hips back and down. So here we'll drop back into the heels. Come a little bit deeper. Rise all the way up. You might like to look up if it feels good. And release all the way back down to your fold. Left leg back, swivel the heel down, anchor. So you can always shorten your stance if you need to, but do make sure you can get the heel down and pull up through the quad, so we're pulling up through the kneecap. Sweeping arms up. So you might be getting a really good stretch up through the front of the hip. Pull elbows down without totally popping the ribs out, so without losing this control, we want to stay contained, but draw the elbows slightly back. Bring arms all the way down, lean your body forward, fingertips to the floor, lift the back heel, and step in to your fold. Coming halfway up, sitting hips back and down. Lift your arms just where you can, so bring in a bit of tension without losing your posture. Rise to the top, releasing down. Right leg back, anchor the heel, strong back leg as we rise. Pull elbows down, sweep arms back. Now shift your weight forward. Lift the back heel, bring your weight fully into the front leg and float the leg off when you feel steady. Fingertips down, stepping in. Halfway lift. Sit back and down. Arms up. Push down to rise. And fold. One way to get warm. Left leg back, let's do the same thing. Anchor, rise, feel the power in that back leg. Pull down. So maintain this core stability as we come forward. Lift the back heel, shift your weight and drag the back leg off when you feel steady. Let's step in. We're going to do one more sequence to each side. Halfway up. Sit back and down. Reaching to the top. Extend all the way up and dive. Right leg. Anchor. Lift with your in-breath. Pull down with the out-breath. Shift. Lift off. And we're adding on this time. So maintain this little squat in the front leg. And then the lifted leg comes through. We'll start to straighten the standing leg. Sweep arms up. Keep your hips level. And I will dive again. So bring your chest forward, arms down and back, leg behind, fingertips come to the floor and step in. Notice if you got really crampy in that standing foot. So try not to grip too much with your feet, let your toes spread open. Halfway lift, back. Deep seat, reaching arms high. Come a little bit deeper, really warm the thighs. Push into heels to lift. All the way down. Left leg, it's our last round. Anchor first. Pull your weight into the back leg, make it really strong. Drag arms down. All the way. Shift. Slowly bring your weight into the front leg. Keep that squat as you lift off. Lifted leg comes through. Straightening up, tall and proud. Dive again. And fingertips to the floor, coming in to your fold. Just hang out right here. You can hold on to your elbows if you want to, or you can let your fingers spider walk on the floor from one side to the other. Stay still if you prefer, or even lift halfway up if you don't want to hang forward. Okay, we'll make our way back into a down dog. So step both feet back and plant your hands firmly, pressing into all fingers. Bring hips up and push your weight back towards your legs. Just take a moment here, check in with your breath, check in with your posture, and we'll sweep the right leg up, bend the top knee, allow your hips to rotate open this time, but without twisting this bottom knee. Okay, so we'll just turn through the pelvis, keep the weight even in both hands. And then the top foot steps outside your hand, tuck it in close so you stay on your mat. And just ease in, drop the back knee, release the toes. Make sure this foot is far enough forward that you've got some weight in the heel, so that the heel is not floating off the ground. We want to really drive down into it. If you need space, you could be up here. You might have hands to the floor. Or if you can sink a bit deeper, feel free to come all the way down to your elbows, but just make sure that you're bringing your hips with you. So if you find that you're up here, you've actually come out of the pose and you'd be better up on your hands. So let's see if you can sink the hips first. So we're still maintaining this nice long line through the body. And if you want to come deeper, then go there. Another variation, if you want to try it, is to tuck the toes under and lift that back knee off. So that will bring more intensity to the pose. Notice what you feel and in what part of your body, and check that you can maintain a nice long posture and an open chest so that we're not caving in. And let's just hold here for a few more breaths. Just noticing where you're feeling tight today. And we'll really slowly ease our way out of the pose. So we'll all tuck those back toes under and lift that back knee. You may like to rock your hips a bit higher, so just rocking forward and back, lifting the hips, bringing power into the hands, and then this front leg will sweep all the way up and over again. Touch down, and switch to the other side. Left leg lifts, bend to the top knee. Try and drive your knee high and allow that top hip to rotate. If you find you're twisting your shoulders, let's bring them level to the ground. With your next out breath, top foot steps outside the hand, bring it in really close. Make sure it's far enough forward so that when you bring your hips lower, we're still stacking knee over ankle. You may like to start with that back knee down and the foot flat. Choose where you want to go from there. Maybe you're higher and supported. Maybe you're on your hands. Maybe you're coming lower. And then of course you've got the option of lifting that back knee. Always make sure there's no pain in the back of the hips, in the sacrum area. It's really important. If there is, always modify. Just a couple more breaths. And we'll slowly reverse out of the pose. So planting your hands firmly. We've got that back knee off the ground. Start to bring the hips a bit higher again. Just rocking back and forth a few times. And eventually when you're ready, the front leg will sweep up and over. Step down. Bring your knees to the floor and come into a seated position, soles of the feet together and knees open wide. Start with hands behind. So rotate your fingers open, plant your hands to the floor, try and open up across the chest, pulling shoulder blades down and towards each other. Lift the chest, press your knees open, tip your head back to wherever it feels good. Big deep breaths up the front line of the body, into the belly, into the chest. And then tipping forward, holding shins or ankles or toes. So leaning forward here. Make sure you're not bunching in through the belly and rounding out. So instead of being here, we want to be tall, lifted, and then leaning forward. So that way there's no pressure in the spine. And we're focusing more on that stretch around the pelvic area. Okay, coming up, shoot one leg out long, tuck the foot in, turn towards the long leg and lean in. You could always be a bit higher if you like, and the foot further away if you need space. You may be able to reach to your foot. If you can't, it's not the goal, so we're not about trying to hunch and round out to get there. We're still maintaining this Lovely long posture that we've been working on so hard. Lean in towards the leg. You might be feeling a deep stretch up through the back of the leg. Also notice whether you've got any other tightness. So you might get some tightness in the groin area, or maybe you're getting a stretch up through the back muscles. So just breathing into the pose. We'll bring this into a side stretch, so hand either on top or inside, and the other arm sweeps open, turning the shoulders. So roll your arm up and over by your ear. Eye gaze wherever you're comfortable. You can be in a higher position if you need to be. And we'll move into a hip lift. Top hand comes behind your hip and push off. So we've got the shoulder stacked over the wrist. Other arm sweeps open. Maybe look up to the ceiling if you can, if you're feeling steady. Push your hips high, so there's a little squeeze in the glutes. Drive down into the foot that's bent underneath you. And feel all the space to breathe into. One more deep breath in. And lower with your out breath. Let's pass back through center, reset everything. So take a breath in and come forward with your out breath. Stay for a couple of extra breaths here. And we'll do it all again on the other side. So the other leg out long. Foot tucks in, sitting up tall. Lean in just to where you can, wherever it feels good. So don't feel like you have to try and get your nose on your knee. We want to really maintain the integrity of our posture. Hold the foot if you can get that far. Into our side stretch. So rotate your shoulders open. Find a comfortable alignment for your shoulder. Each out breath takes you deeper into the pose. And let's lift off. Hand behind. Push the ground away from you. Roll your body open. Look up if you want. Stay for one more breath. And on your out breath, lower all the way down and come over onto your back. Bring your knees up towards your chest. Just rest your hands lightly on top. So we're not hugging in really tightly, we're just settling back in again. Let shoulders drop back. You may like to rock from side to side if that feels good too. Then we'll bring these all the way over to one side. Just float your arms at your sides wherever they're comfortable. We'll move a couple of times to each side. So with your next in-breath, float one knee up and then the other, and let them both lower with the out-breath. Stay for another breath cycle here. Then with your in-breath, top knee lifts, let the pelvis roll across. Exhale to lower. Stay. And then one more time, breathe to lift. Exhale all the way across. Coming back up through center, bring the soles of your feet together, lower with your knees wide. Arms anywhere you like. You might have them on your belly or just resting at your sides. Whatever feels more comfortable for your shoulders. If you don't like being in this position, if it's really hard on the hips or inner thighs, or especially the back, just bring these up or stretch out long. Just a couple more minutes here. There's a chance to refine our awareness again without blocking anything out. So if there are sounds in the distance, you can take that in, let that be part of the experience. But we'll just start to shrink your awareness and refine it to just the space right here, to what you feel in your body. How your body feels lying here on the ground. If anything is calling your attention, keep bringing awareness to your breath. It's the easiest way in to the present moment. And then finally, with your next breath in, start to move again. Maybe stretching out long, arms and legs. Curling small again, just lightly, no force, no effort. A hand on each knee. Rolling over and finally coming all the way back up. Take it easy, take it slow. And find your way back into a seated position. Close your eyes, internalize again. Get a sense of the alignment through your body, pelvis, rib cage, shoulders, crown of the head. Feel the ease of breath. And we'll all take one more breath together, opening arms out wide, all the way to the top. Connect and release down your center line, landing at your heart space.